Welcome back to Guess What Day It Is. Remember to hit like and subscribe, share this with your friends. Today, we're going to check out two turntables. I've got a Pioneer and a Sansui. We're going to check out two beer signs. I've got a very nice Budweiser bow tie window sign and a Coors clock. And I'm going to take you on a tour of my completed test station. So let's get started. So we've got on the bench a Panasonic PL650, or S50, I'm sorry. This thing is cruddy, but we'll give her a try anyway. So let's see. Did I plug it in? It's a pretty important part. Gotta plug it in. It seems awfully fast. It is awfully fast. That's a little better. Okay, so let's get our bearings here. We turn the stereo on. All these turntables are different. They all have different ways of controlling them. I have not had enough experience to know exactly all the different ways they work. So we've got kind of a buzzing. Our ground is not so good. Got a bit of a hum, but like I said, I don't think my ground is adequately connected. Yeah, that's it, yep. Okay, one thing I don't like is how it kind of skips onto the record. That is concerning. Okay. Does seem to be working. I'm going to get it towards the center of the record, and we're going to see if it cancels. No, it does not. Holy cow. That is incorrect. All right. So we got some stuff to work on with this guy. I'm going to try that one more time. This has a very nice Audio Technica. It's a DR2000E or 200E cartridge on it. I think it's very nice. I really don't know. It just moves so fast. I wonder what the weight of the tone arm is. It's very possible that there's just not enough counterbalance, or there's not enough weight on the actual stylus. So I'm going to check that real quick before I do anything else and see what we have. So you guys have seen me do that before. I'm not going to bore you with that. I think we got it nailed. The tone arm was actually at about 4 grams. I dropped it down to 2 grams, readjusted the anti-skate to approximately 2, and let's give her a try. Much better. So let's see what happens at the end. Yeah, I think we got it nailed. It's going to make a nice little turntable for somebody. I'm going to do a little research on that cartridge and see if it's a good one. And once again, the only thing I really see wrong with this one outside of the dirt and mink on it is there is a little piece of the dust cover broken off on the back, but otherwise it is stable. It's got the rubber isolated bushings. The feet are relatively soft and supple. Good little turntable, so I'm happy with that. Next on the bench, we've got a Sansui Classique 350T. I can tell you right away that I don't think this is going to be a successful test. So this is a belt-driven turntable, and I have a feeling that the belt is kaput. I see the belt. You see the belt? It is not much of a belt anymore. So, not a big deal. That's something that we can get taken care of, but for the meantime, I have to do a little research and see if I can find the belt for this guy and then do some further testing. So, that was easy. We've got another classic beer sign. Got the good old Budweiser on tap bow tie. Let's see if she works. Looky there. A little flickering. Came to life. It's pretty bright. These are pretty nice. A little dirty. We'll get this cleaned up and put in the booth. Let's look at the overall condition. It appears that, turn that off. There's either some deterioration of the gold plating here on the side, or it could be brown paint. It looks like it's deteriorating, or the finish is coming off or breaking down or something like that. It's really just on the top and the bottom, just a little bit there as well. Overall, nice piece. Let's check out the back. So we got a sticker on the side that says Budweiser bow tie window sign. Item number 050138. The 138 is handwritten. To relamp. Instructions on how to take it apart and put a new bulb in it. D&S Merchandising Displays Incorporated. P.O. Box 424 Bartlett, Illinois 60103. So no dates or anything like that. Overall condition is good. Really the only thing I see on it is just that little bit of finish change right there and on the bottom side. Of course there's some scratching and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, not too bad. We'll get her cleaned up. Turned out pretty good. The Budweiser really cleaned up nicely. The gold plastic is a little rough, but otherwise in excellent condition. So this ought to make a nice addition to someone's collection. And I'm happy that it turned out as good as it did. So we've got another beer sign. This is very similar to the Busch sign we had a couple weeks ago. Just kind of looking at what we have on the back. It says Coors Illuminated Clock. IC number L910112000. So it gives us some instructions on how to take the back panel off. Looks like everything's intact. I guess we will plug it in, check to see if the clock works, and we'll also see if the light works. Not much to really have go right or wrong here. We have light, but no clock. Adjustment doesn't turn either. Let's see about pulling the back off, and let's see if there's some kind of a issue with the adjuster. So just the fact that I can't get the hands to move. So the motor might be running, but we just might have an issue with the adjustment there. So stand by. We are good to go. So I can get that without the glare. Clock is working. Got it cleaned up. There's some blemishes on the gold on the outside, but turned out pretty good. So I ended up using some of the Novus plastic restoration stuff. Used the fine scratch remover, and then followed up with the part 3, which is the clean and protect, or part 1. So part 2 and then part 1. I used that on the turntable as well that you just saw. Really works pretty good. So it probably didn't need it, but I think it just gives it a little extra clarity on that lens. So I like it. Turned out well. We'll get that listed on our booth. So here is the complete for now test bench. Starting at the top, we've got a TV. We're going to have a bunch of DVD players, VCRs, all that kind of stuff to test. Plus, I can watch YouTube or something while I'm working down here. We've got my stereo. So this is the Sony that I bought when I was in high school. This is a STR AV770. And you got to have the graphic equalizer to go with it too. So that is a TIAC EQA20A. Super, super cool. You got all the lights lit, and just, you can't get any more cool than that. On top of that, we've got a DVD player. That's going to help us test the different TVs that we'll have coming through here to give us a signal. Also kind of using it as a CD player or output for some of the receivers. So we've got some other stuff here. We've got everything. We've got the dim bulb tester that's set up and kind of permanently mounted, so it's up and out of the way. We've got a Bluetooth adapter. That way I can connect to my phone and play different music that is not going to be struck down by YouTube instead of playing through the radio or something like that. We've got a RF to HDMI adapter. Got that guy from Amazon. I can do testing on older equipment like Ataris or different older computers and stuff like that. We've got speaker posts that are built in there, so that way I can test speakers on the bench. I've got a speaker switcher, and so that takes everything coming from the stereo, and you can play through the speakers, or there's also another input into there that can play through the speakers that I can use when I'm testing receivers. I've got an AV switcher, which kind of helps me select through different items or plug a VCR into and run it in the TV instead of pulling the TV away from the wall. Plenty of power, and it really filled up quick though. So it should be good for most of the testing. My goal is to get this stuff on the bench and off the bench, ready to go, or at least find out if it's working to be put up for sale or not. So after testing here, it'll go onto the bench or go into the pile of things to fix. This workbench / toolbox worked out pretty well too. So got quite a bit of storage. I've got quick and easy access to most of the stuff that I use. Quickly wire strippers, just a cordless screw gun, tape measure. That's my TPMS tool. I know it's not checkout related, but I'm running out of room in my big toolbox. I've got capacitors and parts. Record player setup equipment. We got some of my electrical testing, got my multimeter. This drawer appears to be a mess. This is all interconnect stuff. So anytime you're trying to check all this stuff, you got to find the right cable. So everything should be there that I would ever need to connect to the test bench. We got other stuff, kind of empty. This just has the dirtier rags and stuff like that. Eventually I'll find a home for, or find something for that. Bigger stuff, we've got just a collecting of junk that I really had no place for. Fastening stuff. This really has nothing to do with the test bench, but needed a spot for it. Kind of empty. Got my soldering stuff in there for now. Gotta have tape. Electrical tape, duct tape, baling wire, heat shrink tubing, all that kind of stuff. And cleaning supplies and new rags. So I think this is going to work out pretty well. It's already had the chance to put it through its paces. It makes me pretty quick. And once again, my goal is just to do a quick check and see if it's something that I can clean up quickly and get it ready for sale, or if I need to spend a little more time with it. If I need to spend a little more time with it, I at least try to take notes and prepare for the diagnostics, maybe even find out what's wrong and just kind of put it aside. So no more than 10-15 minutes of diag, and then I can revisit all that later, especially in this wintertime, because it is flipping hot in my basement garage here. I got to keep the fan off so I don't make a bunch of noise when I'm filming, and I'm about ready to die. So moving on. That's going to do it for this episode of Guess What Day It Is. Need to order some parts. Got to get a belt for that Sansui. Everything else is A-OK and is going on the floor of the booth. Remember, if you want to see some more sales details on what these things are going for, what they're selling for in our booth, please check out the videos that we publish on Wednesdays, where we go into some of the details of the sales and the inner workings of our resale business. So once again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week on Guess What Day It Is.